Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hey, Shayak, how's it going? Guys, it looks like we might have a trade here right off the bat. If I can get my stuff set up real quick here. We might have a failed second entry short. We have this channel working up here with a break, so we're expecting a new high. Second entry long didn't form, but from the bottom here we got a pullback. First entry pullback. If we get one more, a second entry short that then fails, that's going to trap a lot of bears and we might get a good trade. So hopefully that will happen here. We need a little bit of a pullback. It's got to occur right around the EMA. The market might give us a nice one here for the open. Oh, thanks, Pepe. I had a great weekend. I hope you did as well. So like I said, waiting for a failed second entry short here. Overall bias so far is bullish. And, you know, not saying that it's going to be like that for the whole day or anything, but we're clearly trending up. We have this channel here that has 1, 2, 3 touches. Nice looking channel. We have a break, expecting a new high, so we're at least bullish until we get here, and then we'll see. And this bar is forming perfect so far. And that little pullback to the EMA. Hey Matthew, good morning. Still got 1,000 ticks left on this bar. Market kind of crawling along this morning. Still in that summer slowdown for sure. Maybe once the market opens and we get some participants, maybe we'll get some movement. We'll see. A lot of accumulations of orders prior to the reversal of the range. You talking about all the way down here? This little range down here? Good morning, Grandpa Roger. $100 ticks, man. Let's go. Move on down. Creative 8 is down today. Bummer. That is annoying. Always sucks when tools aren't working. Well, there's never any harm in doing some paper trading, practicing on a different platform or something just to get some reps in. Not looking super hopeful for us if it closes up here. I see a close down. Looks like we're not going to get that down close we were hoping for. Yeah, no dice. No dice. We still can move down, but it's look likely. Over on the Nasdaq, not much else is happening. A lot more congested overall. It looks like we already had a break and new high here, and then we're just kind of in this weird, choppy, nasty looking range. Maybe we'll get a bounce here. But yeah, not looking as good as the ES right now. ES has some nice clean movement. Although it doesn't look like we're going to get our setup here. Good morning, all those just coming in. Welcome. Be sure to like the stream on your way in. Goal every day is to get as many likes as viewers. That is always something to celebrate. Because I want everyone who's tuning in to actually like what we're doing. You know what I mean? So that's a good indication that I'm on the right track. Looks like we were reaching towards our new high, and we did not get the setup we're looking for. So that's all right. Don't want to force anything. It's not setting up just right. But we could get maybe a second entry long. As long as we don't make a new high, we can still consider long trades. Would need a pullback like so, get to that EMA, and then reach for a new high. Good morning, Randolph. Good to see you. About 12 minutes to the open here. And we do have EMI going down at 9:45 today. So 15 minutes after market open, we got to be a little bit cautious. It is a red folder event. Could move the markets quite significantly, just for a couple candles. So other than that, pretty clear day ahead as far as we can tell. Obviously, you never know what's going to go down in the markets. We have FOMC this week on Wednesday, so usually that means some muted action leading up to it. I don't remember if there's any earnings today. Looking that up here. If anyone knows of any notable earnings this week, feel free to share that. I don't have a good link to get a nice visual of earnings, so I don't want to spend my time digging. I know earnings are coming up here pretty soon. We have FOMC as well. Okay, here we're getting a nice pullback. Could get that second entry long. We've moved a little bit too high to consider that failed second entry short. Came all the way, you know, from here all the way up here. So we can't just take that first pullback. We're going to need to wait for a second entry. Definitely like this pullback to the EMA. We could get that second entry open. Over on the Nasdaq, not much has happened. Maybe a short-term uptrend right here. More than anything, this is just looking like a nasty range. So that's kind of the structure I'm favoring so far here. And given the fact that, again, on Wednesday's FOMC, if we don't get something going early on in the day, we're pretty much sunk, guaranteed a range. Yeah, that's just how it is. Action is usually dead before FOMC, but if we get some sort of movement, kind of has to start early and continue. Otherwise, we're looking at pretty much stuck between the low and the high. You know, obviously maybe a couple fail breakouts here or there, but not likely to get a big market move. Five minutes till the open. Nice big candle here. Nice. I like that. EMA is holding right there. That's a good sign. This would be the failed second entry short if anyone wants to take a risk on that. Like I said, I'm going to be waiting for another second entry long, but you do have this pullback first entry, pullback second entry short. That fails. Headed up. We are looking for a new high since this channel has a break. So expecting prices to get here. It looks like we're having a failed second entry short. I just don't like how high we moved above the EMA first. I would have liked that setup to occur right here. Initially, like right around there. But I'm going to hold off until the second entry long, but still worthy to take a chance on if you're pretty bullish. Hey Rasa, I had a great weekend, thank you. The Bob Ross of trading, that is maybe the nicest thing that anyone's ever said to me. We're just gonna paint a happy little trend line here. Speaking of which, did anyone see that Bob Ross Owen Wilson movie? I never saw that, but that looked pretty interesting. I'd never picture Owen Wilson as Bob Ross. Two minutes to market open here. So it looks like the second entry long is going to happen right on the open, so that's fun. If it does set up, of course. We got about 30 seconds to the open here. There is our first entry to the long side. And it looks like we're already going to make a new high. Pull back, first entry, boom, already made a new high. And we're making a new high of the entire channel. So that failed second entry short did end up working out if anyone took that. Nice, Johnny took it. Way to go, Johnny. Hopefully you got a runner going. Hey, Toe, good morning. wasn't confident enough to take on a PA. That's understandable. I wouldn't say it was an A+ setup. That's why I skipped. Nice move up though. This is great. Since we have this channel up, a break and a new high, we are going to wait for some sort of bearish correction to play out. And once that does, move down, break new low, then we consider longs again. But with all this momentum, definitely not considering shorts at this point. Oh, am I muted again? My goodness. My bad. What I was saying is that we do have a second entry right here, but I don't like, I wish the body was closer to the top of the range, so can't take that one for me. But if we get one move down on the EMA, I'll consider that. Back on the ES, just kind of a runaway move here. Johnny's got a nice runner going. Passed your eval on that one. Nice one, Johnny. Congrats. We're playing this with a larger channel. It looks like we are just reaching the top there. The Nasdaq made a new high already right here. So we'd need to hold off on any long trades with that correct. So we're kind of in the same position on both indexes. Need to let the correction play out. Quite a strong move though. If we get a really nice setup at the EMA, I might have to take it. Here is our pullback. This could be one big bull trap. Again, we have PMI in about 8 minutes or so. All this morning progress, all this big rally could just get faded. And the measured move is hit. Good morning, Gary. Thanks for the call out. Yeah, we definitely had, this is a clear 2 legs right to the measured move. Just still fascinates me that always works out. Yep, news coming up at 9:45. Already looks like we might have a break in new low of this down move. But yeah, I don't want to take anything when the news is about to release. There's our second entry. Up and below the EMA, can't take it. News pending, also can't take it. And we got some volatility this morning, folks. Over on the Nas. Already got a break a new low of the down move. Do a brand new up move here. Back above the EMA, above the range. We could get a long setup there. I'd be looking for a higher low here if it wasn't for the news. EMA holding. We already had a first entry, second entry long. You get one more higher low here. That's a good confirmation setup. Well, it was. Now we made a new high here, so we need to hold off on that. But otherwise, this was a great context for a trade to occur, aside from the news. Hey everyone, hope I'm back. Sorry for the interruption there. I just got scared of that news, you know, I just had to dip out. It was too frightening. Looks like we had a nice little reaction there. I am back. Thanks, Randwolf. Yes, good. Sorry for the interruption. Technical difficulties happens, but it was just during the news. Fortunately, it wasn't in any trades or anything. And let's see where we're at here. We had this potential larger channel. We will still see on that. We'll need to see some progress over the EMA here pretty soon if we're going to trust that thing. Otherwise, we just have this channel with a break and a new high. And a nice little down channel for sure, Johnny. Maybe like so. We'll see how it ends up forming. It looks like we need another bar or two. Thank you, Pepe. I appreciate that. Thanks for being patient, everyone. We could consider a second entry short if it forms nicely here. Hey, Summit. Over on the Nas. Definitely not as clean today. Get that up move, and then we have some sort of down channel here. Looks like we might already have a break and a new low incoming. So got a new low there, expecting maybe a bounce unless we have a wider pattern. Certainly could be the case. So far it just looks like this narrow one. That was the second entry on the ES, however didn't quite form at the EMA, so couldn't take it. It was really nice though. That was almost a super clean setup. Pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry. That is like bread and butter, except for the fact that we weren't quite touching the EMA. The NAS is poking below the overnight low here. Looks more like a range than anything else, so would expect us to bounce right around this level. And we have this move down that already has a break and new low, so that also would lead me to think we might get a bounce here. But this is some strong movement so far. On the ES, maybe we'll get one more shot at a second entry short here. Almost an overshoot of this channel here. Yeah, this trade right here really might have been worth the risk. Even though it wasn't at the EMA. Everything else was pretty dang good. The failed second entry long had already happened too. So it was kind of a confirmation of that. From the move up, you had this first entry long, boom. Second entry long, and that failed. And so this is like kind of a lower high of the failed second entry long and a second entry short. It is off the key entry point. It is off this channel. So you could kind of fudge the EMA there. One tick away. That might have been worth it to take. Yeah, if you had a narrower channel, that would be hard to take because you would already have a break in new low. Like if you just had this guy here, it'd be a little tricky. But we're still in this channel right now. So we still could get another second entry short. We come back to the EMA here. There's our first entry short. First entry, let's see if we can get one more pullback and a second entry. Maybe we can get in on this action. Looks like we might get to a new low here without getting that set up. Dang, look at that impulse higher. Crazy. This is pretty volatile here. Don't know that we can take a short after that fast of a move up. There is our second entry short. Let's see if we can get a lower high confirmation. Don't want to see a close above the EMA here. Yeah, you can forget about that short setup now. Wasn't the second entry short that bull hammer 6 bars ago? Well, let's take a look at that, Rasa. So for shorts, we always count at the bottom of the move. Start our countdown here. We have a pullback. The first entry is the first time that a bar goes lower than the previous bar. So right there. And then we need our second pullback. So again, this is the first entry, and we're waiting for another pullback, the bar to go higher than the previous bar. And here we have it. Boom. There's our second pullback. And here is the second entry right here below that bar. So we were just needing a lower high confirmation. It never happened. We pushed above the EMA, so all that is bunk. You need to pull back beyond the high of the previous bar, and you didn't get that yet, so it wasn't a second entry short. I mean, it was a second entry short, just occurred below a bullish bar. Again, that's the first entry, pullback. That is the second entry right there below that bullish bar. We already have our first pullback and our second pullback. So once a bar goes below at this point, then it's the second entry. So that happened right here, but can't take a short below a bullish bar. So that's the only reason I would hold off on that. The first entry wasn't an entry, I think is what he's saying. Oh yeah, the first entry, yeah. So if you're looking just down here, that's only the first entry. Oh, I see this guy right here. Yeah, because that has to pull back. Exactly. Yep, you got it. Yeah, it wouldn't tick below the one before. Yeah, but there was never a pullback. Never went higher. That has to happen. The EMA is holding here. See if we can get a move below. This is kind of a sloppy area here. Good question, Johnny. What the heck is my bias here? I do not know. More bearish for sure because we have this move down that has a break. So expecting a new low. But the EMA has been holding here. And you could actually draw this channel tighter with an overshoot, and that might be what's jacking up the prices here, making it all congested. I don't know. Definitely too stacked to take a trade. Yeah, this is pretty much just a little range here. But we need to wait for some more information to see whether prices are going to hold the EMA or not. That will be the tell one. Dang, look at that bar. Now, if you wanted to take a chance in the mess, there was a failure here. Pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry, that failed, and then you even had a lower high confirmation. Hard to take in the middle of that congestion. With this bullish channel on the break, we might get a new high before we ultimately make a new low. But it's getting really messy here, so not a super clear bias. So yeah, apologize, appreciate your patience. Just trying to get everything back up and running and see what we got here. Anyway, does look like we're finally having a bounce here. So with that being the case, it does look like this was an overshoot of our previous channel, which is leading to a correction. Thank you, Pepe. I appreciate that. My goodness. Technical difficulties are never fun. Nice bounce on the NAS as well. Could get a nice second entry long if this pulls back. On both indices, actually. Man, this is starting to look like one of those days where we just get a bunch of V-shaped reversals. Those are probably the most difficult days to trade, so hopefully that doesn't continue. We can get some price action that actually makes sense. So still waiting for a pullback here on the ES. The Nasdaq may already have a break of the channel and a new high. So we'll see if that corrects. And on the ES, we could definitely get a long trade here. Jeez, look at that, man. What is with the volatility today? These huge bars out of nowhere. Okay, we'll see if we can get a pullback here. We already have our first entry. One more pullback, one more entry. If the EMA holds, gotta take it. While we're waiting for that to set up on the Nasdaq, still kind of grinding higher. We might have a spike and a channel like this. So watching that. Don't want to see this make a new high. We need a pullback here all the way to the EMA. Kind of asking a lot, but we'll see. Nice looking clean first entry. This could be a great long trade if we pull back and get to the EMA here. Okay, let's see what we get here. Does not look like it's going to get back to the EMA for this setup. We're likely going to get our second entry long here. Yep, there it is. So we could get a double trap now. We already have our first entry, second entry long. Not at the EMA, can't take it, but this could move down, trapping out those early longs who took the second entry. And then we can trap out the shorts that are looking to reverse this, get a nice double trap. So that is what we're looking for now. This is kind of looking like a little mini trading range, fortunately. And we're going to move to a new high anyway. All right, if we can get down to the bottom of the range, I like this. It'd be a triple test on the EMA. Confirmation of the second entry long. We'll see if we can get down to the EMA, the Nasdaq. Still looking bullish, still holding that secondary channel we drew. Here we go, baby. Down towards the channel, or sorry, the bottom of the range. See if we can get one move a little bit lower, get to the EMA, finish bullish, and I'm gonna have to try to take that. Come on, move down. Middle of the range here, threatening to go up without giving us any setup. There we go, baby. Let's move on down. Nice, I like this. Beautiful. Okay, let's see how this next bar forms. Again, we just need to see it tick a little bit lower here, then turn up. I like that trade. Be a triple test. Second entry, depending on how you count it, or at least a double trap. I don't really like how that's forming. I wish the body was closer to the EMA, but I think I'm gonna have to take it anyway. Okay, it doesn't look like it's gonna end bullish. Can't take that. Maybe one more bar here. This would actually be a better location for the bar anyway. Just tick lower and then turn up green. That's all I ask for. I have a second entry long on the Nasdaq. Bummer, I'm a little late to the party. See if I can get in. Oh man, so close, so close. Come on. Fill us there. Yeah, looks like we're gonna get filled. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. That took off without us, but that was a great setup there. You were watching that. Got this channel working up. We are expecting a new high to be formed up here. We're waiting for a second entry. Pull back. First entry, pull back. Second entry, right on the EMA. Beautiful setup, textbook. You took that, that was money. And over on the ES, moved up without giving us the setup we were looking for. That's just how it goes, folks. That is trading right there. Not going to be able to catch them all. And so now we actually have this move up with a break and a new high. So we need to pause on longs at this point. Wait for a bearish correction to play out before we take anything else. Johnny says we were close to the top of the range from Friday. Yeah, totally, especially if you draw it tighter like this. Like right in that same area. Hey Tom, welcome, good to have you. What do I use for stops and targets on the Nasdaq? My target is always around 70% of the current ATR. On the Nasdaq right now, that is around 43 ticks is the ATR, so I'd go for about 33 ticks or so for my target, and then my stop loss is always 1 tick below the signal bar. So if I was gonna go for this trade that I marked, stop would go 1 tick below that bar, and then my target would have been about 33 ticks or so. We never got a new high on the 10K channel. Let's take a look at that. Very true. We never did get a high. But this was a really big pullback here. So when you pull back that far below 50%, you don't necessarily expect a new high anymore. And it looks like we have a failed second entry short that occurred. First entry, second entry failure. Happened below the EMA though, you couldn't really take that. You're welcome, Tom. Yeah, I mean, it's close, Johnny. It could kind of go either way at that point. Just trying to find something to give you a bias. Yeah, I know. It's kind of one of those days. Always a good sign if you're like trying to get things to fit and really having to look really hard. Most likely bias isn't clear and we're in a range. That's just kind of how it goes. Yeah, Rasa, no worries. A failure meaning, you know, so the basic strategy we're trading are second entries, right? So a move up, a pullback, a first entry, a pullback, and a second entry. That's the pattern right there, right? So traders know this, and it's a very common strategy. So, you know, this all has to be done with the trend. This is in an uptrend, right? We're moving up. We have a two-legged pullback and then move higher. If that move happens, if that pattern happens counter trend, then you can trap counter trend traders. So basically, you know, if we're in an uptrend and then all of a sudden a second entry short forms, so first entry, second entry short, but it's going against the trend, then a failure would just be basically a trap for that trader. Kind of hard to explain. would need to show you, well, I'll just show you on the example I just gave. So let's pretend that we are for sure in an uptrend and we're expecting a move higher. We got this move up, we're expecting a move higher. Any second entry short is going to be counter trend. So right here, you had a pullback and a first entry short, a pullback and a second entry short. So that is a second entry short pattern, but if we're expecting, if we're bullish, if we're in a bullish trend, that's a counter trend trade and we're expecting it to fail. And it fails right here when it ticks above this bar. So that would be an entry for a failed second entry short. So here's your second entry short, then it fails above that bar, and there's your trap for all the counter trend traders. It's kind of a little bit tricky to understand at first, can be kind of confusing. The main thing you want to, if you're still learning the strategy, is to focus on the regular second entries, and then you'll kind of get to understand the failures as they happen. The failure is the tick above the entry bar, not the signal bar. Yes, exactly. So this would be the signal bar, this guy right here. And you're entering one tick above. So this would be your entry right here. Right when it ticks above the signal bar, boom, that's your failure. But yeah, for anyone out there who's still newer to this strategy, failures are not something you want to try at first, because they're really nuanced. They're hard to read. You really have to have a good read on the market. So stick to the regular second entries, and you can add those to your game later. And also, Russ, I'm going to be making some videos that kind of break down those strategies with better examples and a lot more articulate than me just trying to throw it together. So stay tuned for that. That's in the works for sure. A lot of people have asked for that. The signal bar for the failed second entry short is the entry bar of the second entry short, because you're expecting it to fail, but it hasn't yet because the second entry short hasn't stopped out, which is the top of the second entry signal bar, right? Whew, hold on, I gotta wrap my head around that question. Go back to our example. The signal bar for the failed second entry short is the entry bar of the second entry short. Yes. Because you're expecting it to fail. Yes, it hasn't failed yet because the second entry short hasn't. No, you're totally good. I appreciate the questions, and you're exactly right. It hasn't actually failed yet. Like, those who entered on the second entry short are not stopped out yet. You're expecting that to happen. So yes, you're absolutely correct. Here's the second entry short signal bar, and then for the failure, it's one tick above their entry bar, and then you're expecting them to get stopped out. So yes. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying this is this can definitely be confusing. So, you know, stick for those or who, if you're completely lost on this conversation, just stick to the regular second entry. Failures will come. They'll make sense. The failed second entry bar is the bar after the second entry bar. Yes, exactly, Johnny. We're saying the same thing. So is Rasa. Oof, this is technically a second entry long here. We already made a new high though. Yeah, I don't think you want to take this. Tempting though. From the top, first entry, second entry, but this move up already had a break in new high, so we need to let the bearish correction play out. Very tempting for sure. For me, I'm a visual learner, so like seeing everything written out is even hard for me to kind of get my mind around because this is a strategy that's so visual, right? We're talking about movements and patterns, so to see it visually, I think for me at least is the easiest way I learn, so to see a lot of examples of it. And so that's one of the good things about the live stream is we can actually break down real world examples and you can see it printing on the chart. Because there's a lot of nuances and a lot of situations where it's like, oh, that's kind of like it, but kind of not. So Johnny asks, why didn't I like the setup? We got a new high, but that's a nice bar for range structure. Yes, totally, but you need to respect the break in the new high of this uptrend. Got an uptrend, break new high, gotta respect it. Yeah, that's the primary reason. If that wasn't the case, this would be money in the bank. First entry long, second entry long, nice bullish bar. Locally, that looks really good, but yeah, context wise, we're expecting a larger bearish correction, so you got to hold off on that. But we also do have this little move down that has a break and new low, so we could start getting a bounce here, and I might have to take this little higher low. I like to see the body of the candle a little bit closer to the bottom of the... Yeah, that bar's too high anyway. But this might be a good one to take a chance on if you really are bullish here. This is a second entry long, higher low confirmation. Really tempting bar, but we are in the middle of the range. Gotta hold off on that. I can easily... You just don't want to take anything in the middle of the range like that. can be Chop City. Well, that looks like that higher low is working out, but it's only one of those hindsight trades. Like in the moment, you got to skip that with it being in the middle of the range and everything. And just congested. I mean, that is pretty bad. The last almost hour here. We have not really gone anywhere. Donnie took the second entry long bar because you're new, but hey, you took 7 ticks profit. Why not? Glad it worked out for you. It's not the worst thing in the world, but after a break in new high, you really got to hold off for a while and let a correction play out. There's also a failed second entry short here, but again, This is definitely looking bullish, but man, with the range, you just can't do anything. That's how these ranges get you. Looks like, oh man, this is for sure going to be a breakout, and then it doesn't work. You get a failure. Definitely feels like it's going to go up here. We do have, you know, the EMA is holding pretty decently well. We have a pullback, first entry short, second entry short, failure. Didn't actually trigger on the failure here. Would have been above that bar. Never ticked higher. But it did tick higher here, so you're kind of after risking. I mean, it's not clean by any means. But just trying to get an idea what might happen here, rather than just being stuck in this god-awful range. I might just take a nice bull bar here at the bottom of the range so we have lots of support. That big bearish bar is going to lure in some shorts. If we can get a tick below here and then finish bullish, I might be tempted. Not going to lie. I don't like this just double bar, you know, micro double bar bottom here. I do want to see an actual tick below. See this move down. I want to see this bar finish bearish. The next bar go a bit lower, wrap in some shorts, finish strong. The body of the candle at the bottom of the range, and I will take that long. It's a big ask. It's a big ask, I know. We're already moving up, so not looking super likely at this point. Yeah, we're already at the top of the range, so forget I said anything. But this was a decent bar to take a chance on anyway. Although it never ticked below, it's right at support. We have plenty of tests right here. It's been holding. Get that nice, and it's a small risk too. Yeah, my instinct would have been alright, but I knew exactly what I was looking for. If that would have ticked a little bit below, I would have taken it, but I wasn't going to take it on a micro double bottom. Doing that helps though. If you know exactly what you're looking for, then you can feel really confident when everything happens. You know, if you're saying, hey, here's exactly what I want to see happen. This bar needs to meet these criteria, 1, 2, 3. And if it does, then you can click the button and it's worry free. When things aren't quite how you wanted them to be, it's hard. One, it's not going to be as great of a trade because it's not meeting all the criteria. And two, you're not going to be emotionally in it in the same way. You can't click the button with confidence knowing that you know everything was as good as it could be for a high probability of success. So I like it to check all my boxes, and if it doesn't, I've had a lot of losses that way where I'm like, you know, it's kind of close, I'll take it anyway. Doesn't usually go well. Do I watch anime? I do not. Is this song from anime or something? Kind of sounds like it is. No offense against anime. The one thing I'll say, I think the art is beautiful. I've seen a little bit, you know, I mean, like friends watching it or whatever. Visually looks really cool. I don't get the draw of it though. But no offense if anyone is into that. It's great. I'm sure I'm into a lot of things that people would not be into. Johnny, don't feel attacked. We're good. We're good. No real setup up here. Can't fade this. This is a really strong move. Could set up for a long. I mean, this is a really strong move up, and then we've just been consolidating. We could get a measured move here. All the way up to this level. I'm with you on that one, Rasa. I did watch a little bit when I was younger. Can't get into it anymore, but the art is really cool. That's the best part of it for me. Yeah, can't short, so that's why you keep getting higher lows for sure. This is not a very good place to short. I mean, generally, you know, you would want to short on the breakout of a range like this. But zooming out, overall bullish bias for the last couple hours. Yeah, you don't want to short against this thing here. We'll see. We might be able to get a second entry long here that holds the top of the range. That's kind of maybe the last trade I would consider this morning. So we'll wait and see if that forms and may take it. Okay, let's see how the top of this range does. And move back into the range. This is going to have to move up really quick and hold this EMA. If we close below the EMA here, kind of forget that, the possibility of a long. And you're right, Johnny, that would be a failed second entry short here. But it already moved back into the range, so I think you're going to want to wait on that higher low confirmation of the failed second entry short, aka the second entry long. This is a nice looking bar, for sure. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that is one thing you want to consider on those failures, is how much it did move. If it's a big move down and the shorts already took profit, then you're right, it really wouldn't be too much of a failure. But a lot of people are trading, you know, looking for larger moves, so. But yeah, you don't want it to go too far down, so that is definitely something to keep in mind with failures. Cool. Still closing above the EMA. Not terrible. Brooks defines a failure as wouldn't have made a scalp profit. I think that makes a lot of sense in this context. And so that's why I always talk about failures needing to look pretty vertical. It needs to look kind of like this. First entry short, second entry short, like that. Because if it is wide, like if you have, you have a pullback, first entry like this, and then a second entry like this, then yeah, people have already scalped out here. The shorts have already taken profit, so it's not going to like stop a bunch of people out. That's really what, you know, you're writing stop losses here. You're catching people that are trying to counter trend trade, and then their stop losses are what fuel the move up. So yeah, if they're already taking profit, then there's not going to be that same momentum. All right, we're moving back down to the bottom of the range here. So that long didn't set up. It was kind of a long shot anyway, because we are in a range structure, so we're expecting any breakouts like this to fail. Is what's happening. But anyway, guys, kind of a choppy, nasty day. A lot of weird movement. Definitely some difficult moments in the chart. So if you're struggling today, don't worry. It's not a super clean day. And yeah, don't hesitate to hang up the gloves if you need to. If you're not getting a good read on the market, or you know, price action just isn't doing what you want it to do, no worries in taking a break. So anyway, y'all, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. market time. Take care, everyone.